Hello dear students. In last class I told you that the mechanism of DNA replication is semi-conservative, which was explained by Watson and Crick. But they could not provide any experimental proof for it, which was later on given by two other scientists, Messelson and Stoll. They experimentally proved that DNA replication is semi-conservative. So today we will be studying the mechanism of this DNA replication. It's a very important process and generally asked for 5 marks in the examination. So please understand the process very carefully, very attentively. This whole mechanism of DNA replication takes place in the S phase of interphase of a cell cycle, which you studied in class 11th. So during this S phase, this DNA duplicates itself by a series of different steps. Today we will be studying the mechanism in detail. So let's see here. This DNA replication whole process we can divide in two categories. One is the mechanism or the process it involves, and second is the machinery it requires. So before going into the details of mechanism, let's first focus on what machinery is required for DNA replication. First, machinery. In case of molecular biology, enzymes are very important. They are in a way tools for any reaction. There are different types of enzymes, or you can say there are different types of tools. So what all enzymes are required for DNA replication? Let's pay attention here. First is helicase. Helicase is an enzyme which will unwind the DNA, because DNA, you know, it's a double helical structure. So the helix has to be unwinded. It is done by helicase. Next is topoisomerase. Topoisomerase enzyme will break one strand, or in a way it will cut or nick one strand, and as a result whatever pressure because of unwinding of the DNA helix is created, that is released off. Again it will seal it. Nick and seal is done by topoisomerase. Then next is primase. Primase is an enzyme which is required for forming a primer, RNA primer, which I will explain when this RNA primer is required. Next, the most important enzyme which is actually performing the DNA replication is DNA dependent DNA polymerase. This enzyme is mainly responsible for DNA elongation. Next is RNase. RNase is an enzyme which will digest small RNA strand. Next is ligase. Ligases are the enzymes which bind the segments of DNA. So it's a binding enzyme. Okay. So these are the different types of enzymes which are required for DNA replication. Then second machinery involves the substrates. What are the raw materials required for DNA replication? Here, the deoxyribonucleotide triphosphates are the raw materials which will form the new strand. They are present in the cell pool and they have to be charged. So these charged deoxyribonucleotide triphosphates are, there are 4 types. You know it. It will be deoxyriboadenosine triphosphate. Then deoxyribothymosyne triphosphate. Deoxyribocytosine triphosphate. and deoxyriboguanosine triphosphate. They are performing dual roles. Dual roles. What are dual roles? Dual roles means they perform two functions. They act as the raw material for the synthesis of new strand, as well as they provide energy for binding the two nucleotides. So generally there are mononucleotides. They are converting into triphosphates, like when they react with adenosine triphosphate, ATP. Okay, so these energy currencies, they are acting as energy currencies as well as the raw material. Okay, so this involves the machinery. Now we switch over to the mechanism. The whole process of DNA replication involves three main steps. First is initiation. How it is initiated. For initiation, there are specific places which are called as origin of replication, that is ORI. From there only the process is initiated. When you talk about a prokaryotic DNA, there is only one ORI from where the DNA replication will take place. Whereas in case of eukaryotic DNA, there are various ORIs, origin of replication. So, in the complete DNA, at many places, the DNA replication begins. Okay. So, first step involves the initiation of the DNA replication. And I will tell you the details of the initiation later on. Then second step involves elongation. Once the initiation has begun, then comes the elongation, then elongating the strand of the DNA. Okay. And once the complete DNA replication has taken place, then the last step involves is termination. Then there is no more DNA replication is required. So that step is called termination. So we will be studying all these processes in more detail. Let's see these processes in more detail. Now let's study the mechanism in detail. So the whole process of DNA replication can be divided into 8 steps. We will study these 8 steps one by one and along with the help of this diagram. So these steps are: first, the first step of DNA replication is initiation of DNA replication. The DNA replication has to be initiated at a specific point, that is ORI, origin of replication. So the origin of replication, as I mentioned, it is only one in prokaryotic DNA, whereas many ORI are there in eukaryotic DNA. At that ORI, the enzyme helicase will act and it will start unwinding the DNA by breaking the hydrogen bonds between the nitrogen bases. So as a result, from there, the initiation of the DNA replication will begin, followed by the action of the enzyme topoisomerase, which will cut and seal. As a result, this replication fork will be produced. At that replication fork only, the DNA replication will be initiated. So the first step is initiation of DNA replication. Next, once the initiation has begun, second step is activation of deoxyribonucleotides, that is raw material. So these deoxyribonucleotides are present in the cell pool in this form: deoxyriboadenosine monophosphate, deoxyribothymosyne monophosphate, deoxyribocytosine monophosphate, deoxyriboguanosine monophosphate. It will react with ATP in presence of the enzyme phosphorylase, and these activated nucleotides will be produced. That is DATP, DTTP, DCTP and DGTP. So as I mentioned, they are dual in nature. They will act as the raw material as well as they will provide the energy for elongating the DNA strand. So second step is activation of deoxyribonucleotides. Now comes the exposure of DNA strand and formation of replication fork, as I have already mentioned you. So because of the helicase, topoisomerase, the unwinding of the DNA will take place and a replication fork will be produced. Only at the replication fork the DNA process will begin. Now, the main enzyme for DNA replication is DNA dependent DNA polymerase. But it has one drawback. It cannot initiate the process. It can only elongate the process. But for initiation, it requires some primer. So that primer is of RNA. So the formation of RNA primer is produced. You can see this black color is RNA primer. This black color is RNA primer. So this RNA primer is essential for the activity of DNA dependent DNA polymerase, because its only drawback is that it cannot initiate the process, it can only elongate the process. So initiation of the process is done with the help of RNase, RNA primase, which acts as RNA primer. Okay. Now, once the RNA primer is formed, then comes the DNA dependent DNA polymerase. Based on the base pairs, you know, in DNA there is complementary base pairs. A will always pair with T. C will always pair with G. So, based on whatever the nitrogen bases are there on one strand, the complementary base pairing will begin and formation of new DNA strand will begin. Now there is a very amazing phenomena in this DNA strand formation. You can see this is the polarity. This is 5' to 3'. This is 3' to 5'. DNA has got a polarity. Now the new DNA strand will always start at the 3' end, or you can say the DNA polymerase acts on 5' to 3'. It will synthesize the new strand in the direction of 5' to 3'. So this is 5' and this is 3'. So wherever on the mother strand, if it is 3', the formation of new strand is continuous. We say continuous synthesis of DNA strand. As a result, it forms a very fast DNA, and that strand is called as leading strand. Whereas the DNA strand showing the polarity 5', here this will show a very staggered formation of DNA, or you can say it is discontinuous synthesis of DNA strand, and the strands formed are called lagging strands, and these strands are called as Okazaki fragments. So after these two strands are formed, even these Okazaki fragments which are formed, later on they are joined together again by DNA polymerase. Okay, and when both these strands are formed and when complete DNA synthesis has taken place, Then there is first proofreading and DNA repair, because this process has to be very fast as well as it has to be accurate. If it is not accurate, it will result in the formation of mutation. We have already studied in previous chapter how DNA mutation may result in so many diseases. So this process has to be very accurate. So proofreading and DNA repair again is done with the help of DNA dependent DNA polymerase and then DNA ligase. So the joining is done by DNA ligase wherever there is a replacement. Okay. And then once the repair is done, proofreading is done, after that a new DNA helix is formed. So this is the whole mechanism. This diagram is very important, showing the DNA replication. Okay, so this process of DNA replication is very important for the transmission of or transform or you can say continuation of information from one generation to next generation. So there is a flow of information by the DNA replication from the parent cell to the daughter cell. So please practice this process of DNA replication. Go through it, draw the diagram. If you have any problem, you can ask your doubts. Thank you.